Is Greg there, Charu? You can see him, or he's just having some issues with the net or something like that.
That could be one of the reasons, Gaurav. So I can't see Greg.
All right, just give me a sec.
Sure, sure, Gaurav. All right, everyone, let's just give a few minutes for Greg to join. I think he's having some technical issues.
Okay, well, friends, I think there is some issues with Greg, and maybe he will join us in a couple of more minutes. He's trying to connect from long distance. Early morning in the US, maybe he's having some issues. No problems. I'll just introduce McKinsey for you all very briefly. We are into IT consulting since 2013, based in US, and now we have grown up to the strength of 300 plus employees, and present across the geographies in US, Canada, Middle East, Europe, and Asia Pacific region. And I'm Gaurav. I am heading the sales of Asia Pacific and Indian region. And with me, other senior presidents and directors are also there in this meeting. Hello to all from my side. Uh, well, just to say that what is the reason and purpose of the meet, and what is the reason to get associated with the meet is because that we believe that networking is very beneficial, and healthy networking is very beneficial for getting a good insight, and getting some really insightful interactions with knowledgeable people like you who are there. So we want to present in this in a large forum in going. This is our vision, that in coming days, months, and years, we will be having such networking sessions, and which is beneficial for all who are going to join and who are going to represent their views in this meeting. So we will try to become a platform for them with the help of the meet. So over to you, Charu, with this, and this is why we have got associated with this meet, and we will be keep doing such kind of session in the future. And hopeful your support will be there, like today. So hope to see your support in near future also. And with me, I think Mr. Anurag has also joined. Some words from Anurag will help to initiate today's event in
Sure.
yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, Anurag, you are audible.
Okay. Thank you, Gaurav. It's appreciated. You very well mentioned the code. I think when we do industry connects of this nature and size and scale, it takes a lot to organize. It's never easy. Even though technology has supported this, has started supporting to organize events virtually, but still there is a lot which happens behind the scene. So before I say anything, I like to congratulate the team behind this, the meet. They worked relentlessly and then made this happen. So good job and congratulations, the meet team, to make it happen and continuously making it happen. Right? It's a lot of efforts. And then secondly is thank you everyone from the participants, panelists, the speakers, for taking time aside from your personal and family time and joining an event. It obviously takes a lot from the both sides, and then making sure that there is a value participation, value proposition, which is looked after, and then everybody brings the value in networking events, because the networking is all about people, and then all about their time, their thoughts, their perspective, connecting the thoughts, connecting the dots, right? So I do appreciate, humbly appreciate for the time. The point which I would like to make here from the meet is, and why this has been shaped up, is there are many networking forums and the professional organizations across the world. If you look at, most of the organizations are in silos or within the verticals only. For instance, there are organizations within the retail domain, there are organizations within the fashion only, or so and so forth. But there are few, or I would say the gap which we identified, which led to coin up or shape up organization of this nature and shape, is given the existence of others, we thought there is a one which is lacking, is which can allow to have a broader and not only a networking, but can bring some perspective from the industry, can loop in some of the experts from different technologies. So it'll have a vertical as well as it will have some matrices from different functions. So anyway, I don't want to bore everybody a lot with my thoughts, but I'm always very supportive of these type of platforms and networking forums, wherein, hey, how can we give? The giving is the essence and spirits of networking. If you come in and join, unfortunately, these remote and virtual events don't really cultivate a lot of networking opportunities. However, still, with the help of these forums, we try to achieve goals to some extent. So with that, I would hand over to back to lovely lady Charu to take over and proceed. But thank you once again, everyone, for your time and listening. And thank you, panelists and speakers, to come in and share the thoughts in advance. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the kind words. So Greg is also here now, and I would like to reintroduce him to all of you. He's an established executive with previous experience at Breakthrough Beverage, Under Armour, and Southfire, and he's a proponent of transforming IT departments into valuable business allies. Greg has a proven track record of helping top executives with strategic decision making and the long-term alignment of technology and business goals. So in Greg's hands now.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Sorry for the technical difficulties on this end. My apologies. Wanted to let you guys know, if you don't know me, that I've spent 20 years in IT. Varied background, I've run just about everything in an IT organization except for cybersecurity. And most recently, as Termu said, I spent 6 years at Under Armour and then at Southwire. And so I wanted to introduce you all to our platinum sponsor, McInsall. McInsall is a full service consulting company established in 2008 with global delivery centers. It is an OEM partner, Silver SAP partner, UiPath partner, among many others. And McInsall is focused on competencies around SAP, S/4HANA, automation, analytics, master data quality and governance, and has its own master data product called IMDX. And we've completed projects with large retail manufacturing companies like UA, Under Armour, Southwire, Tapestry, and many others. And so welcome to the meet. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you so much, Greg. Thank you very much for saying such wonderful words. Now allow me to introduce our evening's syllabus sponsor, WhatsUp Box, a company with a very unique idea and product portfolio. So they offer subscription boxes in a very variety of categories, including sports nutrition, health food, wellness, beauty, and grooming. Mr. Gurmeet Ahluwalia from WhatsUp Box will now give you a full overview of their organization.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. I'd like to tell you firstly about what WhatsUp Box is and how it was created. So as we all know that everybody is shopping online these days, and if everybody, all the brands are getting into D2C, that is direct to consumer. So our idea is very simple: to get across samples of the products for the consumer to try before they buy. We have 4 different genres such as sports nutrition, health food, wellness, and beauty. We let people try products of different genres suiting according to their budget, their goals, and their taste. Once they try the product and they like it, then they have the option to purchase the product from their from the website of the seller. And we also help them get discounts on the final purchase for them to purchase the whole product. This also shows the manufacturer the intent of the buyer. Hence, this is the whole concept, how we started, and let's see how it goes. And if anybody has any questions, please, they're most welcome. I can answer them. Hello? So that was a small clip of how it works and what the whole idea is all about. If anyone is interested in the products, you can just like, follow, and share our page. That is WhatsUp Box, and you can send an email showing a screenshot, and I will send a free box across to anyone who's interested. Right now, the only genre that we started in is sports nutrition, and we have 4 different boxes. That is a Jack Pack, that's a gainer's box. Then we have a muscle box called Muscle Fuel. That is a complete protein box. Then we have a box called Fat Attack. That is for people who need to lose weight. And then we have a box called Athlete Stream. That's an endurance box. So all the supplements inside would be supporting the set goals. And then you can try different brands before you actually invest your hard-earned money into the final purchase. Helps saving you loads and loads of money rather than investing in the wrong product. So what usually happens is people end up purchasing a product when they're lured into it by aggressive marketing, attractive packaging, or simply it being a irresistible deal, or some top influencer vouching for it. But as we all know, every body and every palate is different. Every body, every skin, and every palate is different, right? So our idea here is that it is to each to his own, and let everybody try before they buy, and not just jump into it because somebody else is saying that it. So instead of being influenced by the influencer, you can be your own influencer through our channel. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gurmeet. With this, we wish you all the best for your future endeavors. And now I'm delighted to welcome Anurag once again, who has extensive experience in the retail, fashion, wholesale, CPG and life sciences industries with SAP and business digital transformation. He is an expert in IT and SAP-centric projects who is capable of leading large-scale transformations, and he has the ability to orchestrate revolutionary corporate strategy. He's extremely capable at adjusting to the culture of the organization in order to implement IT-enabled change in specific areas of the organization. And I'm thrilled to announce that he will be moderating our panel discussion today. So I'll quickly introduce our incredible panelists. They are the best and brightest from the retail, fashion, and CPG industries, and are serving as our panelists for the evening. Ashwin Gandhi, a fourth-generation Gandhi family member, will be our first panelist. He received an MBA in strategic marketing from the University of Greenwich in the United Kingdom and joined the family retail firm in 2002. In 2007, he purchased a complete restoration of the showroom, transforming it into an ultra-modern facility with new garment labels, and is continuing the history. He has been in the business for 19 years with fresh ideas and a determination to succeed. On the other hand, Mr. Arjun Dugal is our second panelist of the evening. He founded a modern menswear company under his own name and has been featured in fashion magazines such as Vogue and Telegraph, etc., as well as by a number of celebrities. Arjun Dugal debuted his menswear collection in 2014 with a distinct take on Indian ethnic aesthetics and the purpose of removing or redefining the term ethnic. Arjun has reimagined Indian traditional treatments, weaves and silhouettes for today's style-conscious gentlemen. And the label has expanded across spectrum with paint-ups, eclectic prints, embroideries and fabric manipulation. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us today. On to you, Anurag.
Great. So thank you, Charu. And then candidly, I would say that some of the questions have been given to me to ask by Charu and the Meet team. However, I would add one more comment to that is the purpose as defined. See, this purpose, the purpose of this platform is to have some learning from the leaders and their experience, right? They have immensely, experience from different situations they have faced during their business day-to-day, as well as very strategic operational stuff. So if you feel that there are some areas wherein you think from your experience, from some of the peaks, bottlenecks, and some of the past incidents wherein you feel that sharing those can help audience at large, would surely be appreciated. However, I would still read those questions and then probably see how this can help getting some of the learning from you to the audience. So the first question here is goes to Ashwin. Can you elaborate on the bottlenecks in the business wherein you use technology to solve those bottlenecks, or you foresee solving that? If you may want to share some of your experience with the audience here.
Sure. Hi. Hi, Anurag. Thank you.
Sure.
For the question. Bottlenecks is a very important thing, where the technology can really help us a lot and, save a lot of time. So I believe the biggest bottleneck in the business is not the process, but the waiting time. So, I mean, if you see in the retail section, there are a couple of points where, I would like to discuss where the bottlenecks can be, leveraged. So the most important bottleneck probably everyone in the retail faces is billing. When it comes to billing, that's the place, where people really don't have patience and they want to, just zoom out. So they might spend hours shopping, but they want the billing to finish in like seconds. So that is one place where, if you can use technology like we have used because of this COVID thing, a lot of payments in India have gone to the digital payment platforms, and that has enabled us to create this digital and portable billing counters. So, rather than people waiting in the line at the billing counters, if people are willing to pay by credit cards or digital payments, we can straight away go to wherever they are, get their payments done, and they're out of the store in no time. So this is where the technology can really help. I feel that is the biggest bottleneck that a retail store faces. The other bottleneck, I believe, is stocks. So, stock taking is a very important thing in the retail industry. So you have a number of SEQs which are in hundreds, thousands at some places. And for a successful business, the stock taking is very important, So you have to take stocks at least once a month minimum. And to do that, it's really tough. So if we are doing it, so if you can tag everything on RFID tags, it becomes very easy to take the stock. I mean, the entire stock is taken in probably just minutes. So that is one place I think which is, which can help. The other bottleneck is the loyalty customers. There are a lot of loyalty customers who come to our stores. They have got loyalty cards. And, they want to come to the store and ask, how much points do I have, and to redeem them. Now, then they go to the, CRM counters, find out, give them their numbers, and waste a lot of time there, and they get stressed out there. So if you could put up something, like an automated system in the store where you can go, like, the airport machines, you have got these boarding passes machines now. You just put your PNR and the boarding is printed. Similarly, if you go to a store, put in your loyalty number and you can see your points on the screen. So when, it becomes very easy. And another thing which I feel is very critical for retail is, managing and hiring new manpower. Now, very few people use technology here, but, there is a thing called disk profiling, which is done. It's a theory by William Martson. So that is a place, when we have this new employee joining it.
So about this.
That's all right. Right. So just to take it from there. So if we could use this disk profile test that we do when we hire new employees, that will give a lot of prospect into our view, that when you're hiring someone, what is his disk profile? So depending on that, you can know, if the prospect employee is fit for what job, how to handle him if he's joining us. So I think these are 2-3 points where I feel the technology can really help cross these bottlenecks in the retail. So that's my point of view.
Excellent. Yeah, I think you touched upon some of very vital and core functions of retail, whether it's stock, whether it's a billing, whether it's a hiring and movement of traffic. So I think I completely aligned and agree that if these points can certainly bring the efficiencies in the business, right? That's very helpful. Do you have some thoughts and perspective about, as we are saying, data is new gold, and right? And everybody is saying, hey, there is a lot of data, but how we productively use that data to make the business decisions and then timely business decisions. That's being focused now quite a bit. Do you have some thoughts to share from your experience or learnings over the years, which can help audience?
Absolutely. I mean, I believe data is gold. It's gold, absolute gold. And I'm a firm believer in the saying that, measurement drives behavior. So, if you want the behavior to be driven by measurement, you have to measure it. And if you can't measure it, you can't correct it. So, that's where the data comes into play. And we have been collecting data since a very, very long time, right since 1992. We have been collecting data on basic forms. We used to have those basic handwritten forms where you used to take the customer data. And since then to today, where, the data is very easily available on Google Forms, you just give your customers Google Forms and they can fill up data. So that is one way of doing it. The other thing is, in the retail industry, data can help us understanding the customer behavior patterns. More than that, the sales executives' performance trends, everything can be, understood by the data. And the most critical part, I believe, where the data could come into play is inventory. The maximum capital blocked by a retailer is in the inventory. And if we could find the data to find the replicable, profitable product, that's the product which can be replicated. It can be very easy. Your inventory turns can go high. And in a data-driven management system where you can have a data-driven inventory management system, so you can absolutely know, what sells, how it sells, how fast it sells, who buys it, who sells it, and all that. So the entire process of tracking, planning, and inventory can be done through this data system. And at least for us, the data system that we are using now, it has helped us, in a way that we used pull-based inventory management system. So we only buy what we sell. So that really helps us, in taking care of the data. And I like to share one thing that we are doing now. Probably we are one of the very few retailers, or probably only the retailer probably doing it. So what we are doing is, now when our customer walks in, we have no idea how many customers have walked in. We can just count the footfalls, but you really don't know what his buying pattern is. So what we are now doing is, we are doing this on a pilot project in our store. Whenever the customer walks in, we are giving him an RFID tag. So our store is, it's a 25,000 square feet store. So it's a big store. And when the customer walks in, we really don't know where he's going first, where he's going second, what is he buying. So we hand over RFID tag to the customer. So whenever he goes into a particular section, so just to give an example, he goes into the men's formal wear section. And, the job of my manager or the floor manager is to, scan his RFID tag, scan my salesman's RFID tag, and that's it. That's a marriage between these two. Then the customer can do whatever he wants, buy whatever he wants, spend whatever time he wants to spend in the department. After that, once he's done with the men's formal sections, say he wants to go to the men's casual sections. From there, he moves on to the men's casual sections. He has the same RFID tag which was given to him when he entered the store. Again, the floor manager of the casual section scans his RFID tag. He scans my sales executive's RFID tags. Again, it's a bridge. The marriage is done. So similarly, the customer can visit various sections in the shop, various places in the shop using this RFID tag. And when he comes to the billing counter, everything is captured on that one RFID tag. So one, his billing is pretty fast. The entire billing is done in seconds. Second, we can sit and analyze the data that we have got from him. How much time he spent in what section, how much value has he bought from one section, plus the salesman patterns, what is the conversion ratio of the salesman. So if there are 10 salesmen in one department, this can help us track their conversion ratios. So tomorrow when we take a EM of the sales staff, and you tell them that your conversion ratio is, you were given 10 customers and you have converted 8. So your conversion ratio is good. Similarly, not only that, this can even track how much time has the salesman spent on selling that product. So per se, a salesman might spend an hour and he might sell something in the price range of 1 lakh. And there is another salesman who spent around 2 hours, but he spent only 50,000 rupees. So the per salesman, value of time is also known, which we call MVOT, the my value of time. So similarly, this I believe this we are doing it on a very basic and initial stage right now. But I think this will help us a lot to understand a lot of things, not only inventory, not only customer behavior, but also our salesperson behavior. So I believe data, it's like a gold mine. No much. I mean, how much ever data it is still short. Data is infinite, and the more the data you have, the more precise probably you can work in the retail industry. So that's my point of view on the data part.
Yeah, no, perfect. I'm so impressed of this pilot thing. Of course, you have taken this to the next level, wherein not only a data but operational efficiencies. So good to know. I'm sure this is a great learning for everybody. Quick question: when you hand over RFID to the customer, do you take some scanning of their loyalty card or anything which ties to the customer also, or it is a generic some unique number which moves around the floor?
No, so his entire buying pattern and purchasing pattern is tracked through the RFID tag. But when it comes to the billing part, so if he's already a loyal customer, he just needs to enter his loyalty number, which he gives when he got this loyalty cards. So now also another thing, we are going on to this, because of this pandemic thing, now we are going on to this digital ID cards, digital loyalty cards. So the old loyalty card that we had, like all those cards, when you present it to the sales, the cashier, it's all done and dusted now. So they just have to open their mobile. They have a QR code. You just scan that QR code. That is their loyalty card now. So it's a bridge. I mean, the buying and purchasing pattern is tracked through the RFID tag. but still they could, add their loyalty points when they do the billing.
Billing, fantastic. In this last question for you is, in this series is anything you are thinking as a future, particularly in your business, technology will help to evolve even better. I mean, I could see that technology has disrupted in a most favorable way, has been accelerating the business across the industry and then across the companies, right? That part is given. Everybody talks about that. It's enabler now. Particularly in your business, any plans which you may want to share? It's something as a public knowledge you may want to bring.
So the things that we have learned post-COVID now, COVID was a great teacher. I believe COVID was a great teacher. It really got us out of our comfort zones to the places where we have never been before. As a retailer, we always thought, buy, feel, touch is how you'll sell the products. But suddenly, there are things that has happened which are not in our control. So that has helped a lot. Another thing is, we have started selling via digital platforms now, which was first the digital platform was just like a showcase, just to show what you have. But suddenly now people are willing to buy. So we have got requests from people, to buy on WhatsApp. We have voice called a lot of customers, they have, video called. So we have video called a lot of customers and they've seen the product and they've bought it. And now, which we never thought we could do, we are planning to launch our own apps. So when the customer comes into the store, we download that app on his mobile, and every 15 days, every week, whatever new product comes in, we shoot it through his app. So I think these are things that were unimaginable or probably imaginable, but not practical before COVID. But now they seem pretty much practical because the customer has also opened up to it. That's one thing I believe.
Yeah, no, I think it's a very, very valid point. And however simpler it seems like, but touchless, paperless, the selling and the entire behavior of the industry, it is a difficult process to go through and then achieve, right? So very valid. Thank you so much for your insights. It's, I'm sure, was very helpful to many of us here. And then if I may spin this conversation toward Arjun, and then I think, Arjun, you had been obviously waiting. I took longer time to kind of took that turn and then coming toward you, but I'm sure it was interesting dialogues, right, with Ashwin. So I would like to ask you a couple of questions that, hey, which components of the fashion industry do you believe are most critical in your view, and then you always face when you dream and then work and then perform or serve your customers? What do you think are the most critical components typical to this industry?
So particularly, I feel because we are not a run-of-the-mill business and we're not a standardized product that everyone knows, and there is a certain element of customizing to each customer. It's not the one-size-fits-all. We do tend to have a little bit more concentration on direct-to-customer sales with an interpersonal touch to it. I think this was actually my mentality when I started my label, was I want to grow via word of mouth. And there is some weight to it. Of course, COVID, as Ashwin very rightly pointed out, was a big teacher in the sense that you can't grow word of mouth if no one's going out and no one's wearing your clothes. So what do? You dig deep and you understand what are the hurdles that you're facing. And technology, yes, has had a major impact on it. We've had a lot more video calls than I think we've ever had, keeping in mind the constant theme of having a direct-to-customer face. We have a face who is a part of the brand and a face of the customer, and someone they can relate to, someone they've understood, and they have a comfort level with. So it all starts with getting the customer in and getting him getting an understanding of his needs first, and sort of moving and molding from there. I think I think the one thing that's been very underrated is the question that you ask your customers, like, what do you need, and understanding their need in today's day and age. The second thing is because we are a sort of luxury or aspirational luxury sector of clothing, it's not as easy to sort of showcase your garments and for someone to come and buy them on an online platform. So we've had to sort of diversify in our SKUs and create certain SKUs which are very price sensitive or certain SKUs which are immense value for money, so to speak, to sort of get that customer in and understand, again, his needs and diversify that segment of our.
That's interesting. And then I think you just made a very valid point, and I feel that customization is also very underrated in fashion, right? It used to be probably low degree, it has become a higher degree now. Now the standardization is going down and down, and then probably the engineering, the product, making the product for every customer has become pervasive to not only the fashion industry, but I am seeing this is going in many other industries. So probably other industries are following fashion to customize this segment. So very valid, and thank you for sharing this. How do you see the role of these virtual modeling or robots or anything which you may see that may come up in fashion industry? Because people talk about augmented reality, virtual reality, but there could be an area where in the modeling and the models will also be actually now there is a lot of movies have come in wherein the robots really perform the key role. Basically, they were the leading actors, right? And then if we translate that in the fashion industry, do you see something happening around that? And then those human real models may disappear?
Absolutely. I think it's a part of technology that's going to be very, very beneficial and significant in definitely the years to come. I feel, though, that we are at a very nascent stage of that currently. And when we look at a customer who's probably paying a higher price point for an item, there is that desire to see, feel, and touch. So it's still going to be very brick and mortar until we reach a space in which your customer understands your product over a period of time of constant repurchasing of different elements of your product. And once they do that, they have that certain confidence in the product. And that's when I think augmented reality and technology in a virtual space will come in handy. You have your customized product. Say you have a book, and if someone's purchasing a book, it's very easy to do so because they understand the contents of what it's going to create. And the price is not significant. But when you do pay something for a wedding wear achkan or something in the 60s to 70s to 80,000 rupee range for a single garment, I feel that element that the customer enjoys going to the store to see it and to feel it. And that's an offshoot of it's a part of their purchase experience. And that's what we offer to provide. But very interesting. We do use a lot of bots for our customer service because we do tend to have, we have X number of salespeople. And if we have a huge multiple of that as ongoing customers, and everyone wants to have their update or their opinion or sort of in the customized field said and heard, you have to be able to cater to all at once. And it's not humanly possible to do so. So that's where we use a lot of bot IMs over WhatsApp, for example. If someone reaches out to us, there's an immediate message. I mean, it's a standardized process, but I think from the nascent stage to now in a high price point, these things are going to take some time to come. But as your customer gets more informed about how these systems work and a quality standardization, that's when you really see these things excel a lot faster.
Great. Yeah, I do agree. I think this is an evolving area for sure. And what are your thoughts, Arjun, around if we take a spin from here to the ecological, the aspects of fashion, particularly apparel. So there are a lot of talks in the industry, in the global world that, hey, not only the ethical business, people are definitely looking at that part also, but more so is the ecological that will, are there any preferences you are observing or some demands or your, any thoughts around that would be appreciated.
So I think being a twofold, I'm also a garment exporter, and we do finished leather garments, and across the board, we work with a lot of materials. I think for now, ecological and sustainable materials are a trend, but in order to make sure that they are sustainable, they need to be financially sustainable as well. If we're looking at global freight rates going up and your customer being even more price sensitive, we're going to have to come up with something which is very sustainable, but sustainable across all denominators, not just what the item is, but how sustainable is it on someone's pocket? Because sustainability means we have to reach the masses. We have to segment it so that the bulk of the population reaches sustainability, and only then can we create that sustainable or ecologically friendly fabric. But I do see a lot of trend in which fashion can influence a lot, in the sense that you can always take certain things that have always been purposed and then repurpose them. They won't necessarily fall under your luxury category, but they will definitely fall under an aesthetically appealing category. And when you have certain SKUs or segments of your collection that you can create in and around that sustainable aspect, it will definitely benefit. We do have a practice, for example, that in my company, we try and make it sustainable, is that every time we send out a shipment, we understand the carbon CO2 emissions of that shipment or what it costs to make it. And because we can't make it directly sustainable because of all the manpower and electricity that is still consumed, we go and plant trees to sort of in time negate that carbon dioxide emission globally. So it's not a direct, but it's sort of an indirect approach to that. And that's about where we can go. Another area I find very interesting is relating solar energy and the use of solar energy in machines that we use on a daily basis. So my factory is in the process of becoming solar energy viable, and in that space, a lot of the energy we are going to create is going to go back into the grid. So we're sort of looking forward to becoming a negative. We're not going to use electricity off the grid. So I feel there are many avenues to sustainability and ecological welfare of especially in the fashion world. Maybe not directly as yet, but I think we will get there in time.
Great. That's a great insight. And I think certainly I'm sure that when we discuss things like this more and more, I think it inspires even others to start looking at that aspect of it. Is great. So I would thank you once again, both of you gentlemen, for patiently hearing me and taking some time. So I take spin of aspects, but working with me on this. Thank you. I would give it back to Charu and then let her continue this part. Charu, thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Anurag. And I would want to thank everyone of our panelists and audience for an energizing session. And I'm especially thankful to Anurag for making it so fascinating and informative for all of our viewers. And now for our event's first speaker, Mr. Hani Inaya, Senior Sales Director at UiPath in Saudi Arabia. So he's a seasoned sales and marketing executive with a track record of strategic management success. And he's responsible for driving business growth in Saudi Arabia and the Gulf region by engaging in strategic sales, account management, and business development operations with a variety of sectors. Hani, please. It's your session now.
Hi, good afternoon. I hope my voice is clear. Anyone can confirm that for me?
Audible, Hani. Thank you.
Great. I always like to have my smile clear and my voice clear in order to let the audience accept my presentation. My name is Hani Inaya. I'm based in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. I'm working in the sales for the last 20 years, almost 21 years, working with different technologies, starting from applications to the digital transformation platform. In the last 4 years, I was working with UiPath to position the RPA as one of the main factors for their digital transformation strategy. I have a lot of use cases today with me. I can onboard you all about the automation, about the RPA, and also we can talk together about some use cases in the retail, the fashion retail. And also the last couple of days, I prepared some, let's say, findings about how much the RPA can help every single function within the retail industry to convince you to start your automation. I'm ready and happy to share all those knowledge and experiences with you, and be ready for my presentation. So if you want me, I can start immediately, share my presentation.
Sure, go ahead.
Great. Can you confirm if you can see my screen?
Yes, Mr. Inayat, you're able to see.
Yes, it's visible on.
Great. So let me do it in full presentation mode and start. Today, I let's say split my presentation into two aspects. The first one, to inform you about the RPA. And once we talk about RPA, we mean robotic process automation. We are talking about software robot. This is the first part from my presentation for today. I'm putting plan around 5 minutes. Then I will move to the second part from my presentation today to talk about the retail, fashion retail, and CPG industry. As I introduced to you, based on my experience in the last 4 years, I want really to extend this knowledge and experiences in Saudi market and the Middle East market with you in order to know exactly where and how you can start. And just, I'm sure all of you, they start their digital transformation in the last couple of years. So just to put the contents in the right place and in sync with my colleagues, what they share with you about the data and about the analytics, about something like that. The digital transformation is the big umbrella. And you can consider the RPA as one initiative under the digital transformation within other initiatives. And within my next slide, you can see a couple of initiatives came from Forrester, Gartner, IDC, and the rest of consultants and advisory organizations. Today, I will have a high-level presentation. We call it awareness session about the RPA in order to inform you about one initiative within the digital transformation. Today, in very high level, I will cover the automation first mindset. Then I will share with you what's the automation lifecycle, and this is very important for you to know exactly where you can start and what's the end results. The process assessment, what kind of business process can be automated within your function, within your industry. You need to know, is this applicable for automation or not? Then, very important, I want to inform you about the hyper automation. Today, we are talking about advanced stage, not only the automation, also we are talking about the hyper automation. I will share with you what's mean of hyper automation. Beyond the products, one slide, I will show you the products because in the next slide, you will see some use cases and some demos, so you can be aware about the product. The heat map, this is, I just want to highlight that based on our experience in the product, also we have let's say long and strong experience from business analysts, from consultancy, automation consultants, people creating something called heat map with list of use cases, list of business process that allow you to understand what kind of percentage you can automate within this process. And this is a key word in today's session. The automation enterprise, it's your call, rather to start in small scale or in the enterprise scale. Or you can take it in phases approach, and also I will cover this. The customer success story, as I mentioned to you, I have a couple of use cases and customer story, which allow you to learn from others about their journey. This is my high-level agenda about today. If you allow me just a briefing, in the last 4 years, we have more than 100 happy customers in Saudi Arabia, and we have more than 1,000 happy customers over all the world, working in UiPath RPA platform and using the RPA as a main project in their digital transformation. And most of them in the retail industry. I can share with you a lot of those people, Savola, Sako, IKEA, those people taking the RPA as a core in their digital transformation and their automation. The first takeaway, the automation is the key factor about your digital transformation. So if you start your digital transformation, your automation, you are on the right track. If not, please accelerate your digital transformation. Make sure you take the right decision, meet with your executives, try to start discussing this with the business in order to start accelerating your digital transformation. The first takeaway from today's session is think automation first. Within my next slide, try to start thinking about the day-to-day activity, day-to-day business process that you are using in order to see, can I automate this business process? Up to which level I can automate from this business process? If you put this automation first mindset in your head, this will support you as an individual, will support your team, will support your function or business unit, and also will support your organization, your enterprise. End of the day, you cannot isolate your goal away from the enterprise goal. End of the day, every single goal, every single individual goal and target must link with the enterprise goal. And we can see today, like all the other companies, the RPA is the top or most talked topics in every single meetings. You need to make this as a behavior, weekly or monthly call, weekly or monthly meeting with your team, with your executives to identify more use cases for automation. And based of a lot of consultancy firms, McKinsey and those people, they mentioned that the automation really started doing big impacts from 2018, 19, 20, and after the COVID-19 and the pandemic became as a top priority for all organizations to start impacting their business. And has been a lot of statistics, the automation impacting your business with a very high percentage. And I'll tell you something. The RPA is not an IT project. It's not a subject related to the people in the technical part. Also, this is top priority for CEOs, CFOs, and the COOs. And as per Gartner 2021, the top priority is data analytics, as you mentioned in your previous discussions, the RPA, and the workflow automation. This is exactly the digital skills you need to onboard it in your organization. And I'm sure every single one in this call have his own priority within his strategy. And I'm sure it is one or the four from this strategy: increase revenue, decrease the cost, improve the customer satisfaction. And this is a very linked with the industry of the retail, increase employee engagement and reduce the compliance and risk. If we take this in our consideration, and if we went through a lot of statistics starting, as I mentioned, in 2018, 19, 20, the RPA is the top trending. And as per 2021 Gartner research, the hyper automation is the top strategic technology for all the decision makers. And it's not a matter of only onboarding a new technology to your organization. I need you to start thinking about how you can link this automation as a part from your optimization strategy, from your transformation strategy. And I can share with you, if you can see here, point number 7, implementing robotic process automation is the key factor if you want to control your cost. And all of us, we know that in the retail industry, the cost optimization is one of the challenges. And now I can share it with you. And I have come up with researches. By end of this session, I will make it available with the team who organize this organization in order to share it with you as per Gartner Foresters about the value of the RPA and about the demand about the RPA and AI in the next 3 years. I'm sure all of you face a lot of challenges, a lot of pressure came from people, from resources, from technology, from market, from competition. If we put all those in our consideration, what the RPA can provide you. So in this slide, I will make sure you have clear understanding about what RPA can do for you. Today, we are talking about software robot. It's a digital workforce. So once you onboard the RPA within your organization, you have a digital workforce working hand to hand, shoulder to shoulder with your teams, with your managers, with your leaders, and with your executives. This digital robot can log into any application like me and you, access Oracle, SAP, Excel, email. The robot can move files and folders like me and you. Exactly, he can copy, paste, and move any kind of folders. The robot can read, can write from application and also from database. As he mentioned, one of the guys now, he mentioned that database is gold. You need to deal with it in a professional way, in a high speed, in a high secure way. The robot can scrap data, not only from application, not only from database, also from web. The robot can move to a website, extract data, post data. Wow, amazing. Do you imagine how much time you consume to do certain activity? The robot can connect any systems through APIs. And I'm sure in the retail industry, we are using different applications, different systems. With the robots, you can connect all those people within a couple of days, and much of saving time in this function. The robot can extract content from different documents, PDF files, email, Excel, Word, whatever the format. Whatever me and you is dealing with any kind of application system, the robot can do the same. The robot can open emails. The robot can open attachments inside the email. The robot can open attachments inside the email, read the contents, and reply to the email with a proper reply. And finally, the robot can make calculation. I will spend just 3-4 seconds. I want you to see what kind of activity the software robot. So this will help us to start to receive some question from your side by end of this session. I'm trying to control the time. So if you ask me where we can start in RPA, what kind of functions, vertical or horizontal, we can use the RPA. If we talk about the horizontal, whatever the function, you are talking about finance, order to cash, process to pay, record to report, or in the supply chain, whatever industry, IT, HR, customer services, there's a lot of use cases, a lot of success story. Immediately start, select this one if you have the same business process and do the automation. In the other hands, we have the vertical industry expert, which help you with a lot of use cases and a lot of heat map, if you remember, about your industry. Telco, public sector, retail, wholesale, healthcare, higher education. So we can help you with our mature partner with a lot of use cases, a lot of success story, and a lot of heat maps, allow you to know where you can start your automation and where it's the best use cases to start your RPA. And very clear, if you have certain challenges, you can start immediately do the automation, rather in the task automation. For example, I have this business process with 6 or 7 tasks. I need to automate the whole business process, or I can automate 1 or 2 tasks to save some time from my team, from my employees, in order to do accelerate for automation. Then the second level of automation is the process automation. I automate end-to-end business process from A to Z. And this will lead us to the company digitalization, full automation. You can start with the task, move to the process, to the company, or you can from top to down. If this is a strategic decision for the enterprise, for the organization, you can identify all the process and start with the automation. And this is the beauty of the RPA. You can start in phases, you can start in small scale, then scale it up, or you can do the full enterprise automation. One question will came, what kind of business process can I automate? What is the candidate business process for automation? I will move within 1 minute in this boxes, which help you to understand what kind of business process, rather in your function or rather in your industry, the retail, to automate. Any process with standard electronic input, immediately assign it to the robot and let the robot do it. Any high manual repetitive process, do you imagine that I do the same task every day, every week, every month? Immediately stop and give it to the robot, let it do it. The robot, he works 24 hours, 7 days a week. He don't have vacation, he don't have sick leaves, he don't have anything. Any process with low expectation rate, but I need to do it. I need to do closing for every week, every day, every month. I need to do transactions and the order to cash, procure to pay calculation. Give it to the robot, he will do it. Any role-based process. For example, if you have this business process, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No need for any human, no need for me or you to do any interact with this business process. So assign it to the robot. Any high volume process, for example, end of the day, end of the month, end of the year, thousands of transactions, thousands of invoices, give it to the robot. And I have some use cases I can share with you now. Stable process. I do this process in the last 6 months, the last 12 months, no changes, no change management, no re-engineering. Give it to the robot. Process with performed by large team. Do you imagine that if 6 or 7 guys doing the same one process, 6 or 7 guys doing one process? Give it to the robot. He will move from guy to guy, from machine to machine, from system to system. and close the deal. And finally, and this is very important for the regulations and governance, if you want to make sure 100% the process following the steps, if you want to make sure no exceptions, give it to the robot. Also, I'll give you 3-4 seconds to see what kind of this process can be automated before moving to our next slide. I have more 2 slides before we go to our second part, which is more use cases about the retail, the life cycle. As I mentioned to you, once you decided to select any use cases for automation, once I mention use case, that's mean business process. First of all, we need to identify this process. Then we need to do documentation. If you have the documentation, we need to review it. So it will take a couple of minutes, a couple of hours. If it's not, we need to create it. We need to do evaluation. How much I will save if I automate these use cases. We call it in our languages ROI, return of investment. If I automate these use cases, how many hours I will save, how many dollars I will save, how many challenges I will save, how much customer experience I will get before start any automation. Then I need the tool in order to do the development. After creating the robots in the system, I need to send it to the customer back to do UAT, to do testing, to make sure whatever I was doing before, then I hand it over to the robot. I want to make sure the robot is working as per the process. And once done, we send it to the production. Enjoy working with the robot and keep your eyes open in the monitoring. And I'm sure every time after the automation and after your digital transformation, you will start do improvement. So it's ongoing process. For that, this is, we call it the automation lifecycle. UiPath give you end-to-end platform, which can help you to identify the right process. We have a robot who can do documentation. We have the system who can give you the ROI. And we have the tool, which can help the technical guy within our trusted partner and technical team in order to do development. Then we have the tool, which allow you to do the testing. And finally, we have the dashboard, which allow you to have the monitoring and improvement. This is UiPath platform. This is my last slide. We have the UiPath Studio, which is the tool that allow you to create the robot, to generate the robot. It's a software you can install it in your desktop or laptop. In the UiPath Studio, you can create unlimited use cases. It needs certain skills. Within UiPath Academy, we can talk about it. The second component, which is the UiPath Orchestrator, which is the manage, which you can control all the robots, all the use cases. And finally, we have the robot, which is the full-time employee, the execution part. So if you ask me how we can use it, within the studio, for example, you can develop 6 or 7 or 10 use cases. And you have 3 or 4 robots working 24 hours, 7 days a day. So within the orchestrator, you can assign this process number 1 to robot number 2 to ask it to start from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the order to cash. Then from 2 p.m. to midnight to start working in the store closing. And by midnight to start working in the reporting. Within the orchestrator, you can stop the robot, start the robot, assign the business process to the robot, and everything. I'm done from my side about UiPath platform. This is my first part about the RPA automation before moving to the second part, which is the retail industry. Is there any question before moving to the second part?
Yeah, hi, Hani. This is Gaurav. I have one small question, and definitely I believe implementing UiPath gives great benefit to the customers. And but as it is a software, a lot of softwares are involved here. So is some kind of training or educational program which UiPath runs for the benefits of client or the users, and how they can take those kind of training?
Amazing question. Thank you for raising these things. Apart from our investment with our customers, our partners, and the market, we have something called UiPath Academy. It's the online training for the third year, it's the best online training as per Gartner. Within this academy, we have 5 tracks for business analyst, for developer, for architecture, for infrastructure, and for project management. Rather you are a partner, rather you are a customer, you want to start your RPA journey, you can go to the foundation, then the advanced, then the professional. So UiPath Academy cover different wide, from business analyst to project management, from technical to infrastructure to architecture. UiPath Academy, it's free. You can now, after this call, immediately access UiPath Academy, create your account and start your learning curve. And as per LinkedIn last year, the RPA demand in the market became one of the top professionals in the IT industry. So yes, it's available through UiPath Academy.
Thanks, Sunny. This was quite good. Thank you.
Thank you. So if you allow me, I want to move to my second part in the training. If there's any questions?
I think we have one question.
Mr. Inaya, good evening.
Yes, please. I'm ready for any question.
So it's from Aarti, and she wants to ask you that what will be the role of automation in the future of hybrid work?
Great. I'll tell you something. The robot will not replace the human. We need the human in order to learn the robot for new skills. It's a matter of reassign the task within the organization. Rather than I'm doing poor job, as I mentioned to you within the 8 boxes, I will do certain jobs and will assign the poor job to the robot. The digital workforce today will work hand to hand, shoulder to shoulder with me and you. While I'm talking with you, I have 3 robots reporting to me, and I'm reporting in certain tasks to the robot. So this is the mindset, as I mentioned to you. You need to accept the robot as a part from the digital workforce. You need to accept the robot as a part from your team. This will not change the business, it will change the behavior. So don't worry, you will not lose your job.
Thank you so much, Sunny. Thank you very much. Do we have any more questions for our speakers or panelists? All right, Honey, you can now start with your next part.
Great. So I'm moving now to the second part, and I want to focus a little bit in the retail industry. I want to start with one story in the retail industry. We have a big customer in Saudi Arabia, and I met the CFO after 12 months of using the UiPath RPA platform. And I asked him, what's the most important ROI you get it from the RPA in the retail industry? And the answer was, Hani, there's 2 robots who work in the finance department generating reports. Those 2 robots saved 5,000 working hours last year in the reporting. Do you imagine that? Anyone have a calculator? Just 5,000 multiplied by the cost per hour for expert finance. This is a big money. He saved it just only in one function called reporting. If you want, I can share with you what this robot can do. This robot today, while I'm talking with you, this robot working only midnight, collecting data for 5 KPIs: total sales, cash in bank, outstanding payments, planned payments, and the collections. They collected from different application systems, put it in an Excel sheet, translate this Excel sheet into PowerPoint, attach this PowerPoint to the email, and send it to the CFO every day at 8 a.m. Every day for the last 12 months. Every day with 0 error, 0 mistakes. You can go to the YouTube and search for the CFO interview with Hani, and you can see his story by his mouth. Today, I will not spend that much time, but I want to focus in the industry. What kind of challenges, what kind of trend, some use cases, and how we can have learning from customer experiences. As per a lot of experts in the industry, not as per UiPath and not as per Hani, as per a lot of experts in the retail industry, this is the main industry challenges: customer behavior, regulations and controls, decline the business health, change workforce dramatically. This is the main challenges, and we can recognize how much the customer behavior change. We was before pandemic like to go to the stores and the retail shops in order to do some shoppings. Now we do it online. We was looking to have shipment within 1 week. Now we need it within 2 days. Before we was looking to pay for shipment. Now we are waiting around 4 to 5 days to get free shipments. This is behavior. We need to capture this behavior and we need to accept as a challenge. Regulations. We all know how the regulations and controls impact the business and how much we need to keep our eyes open in these regulations and controls. I'll tell you something, just this is, I updated just, let's say, 2 or 3 hours before this presentation. Around 6,000 stores over all the world expected or estimated to be closed in 2022. Do you imagine that? In 2018, 2019, and beginning of 2022, as per Gulf, Middle East, and Saudi Arabia, we have around 4,000 to 4,500 stores every year. Now, the store closed is more than what the store was open. So this is change of the retail industry. The workforce. All of us, we know how much the employees moving from store to store, from brand to brand, the turnover, and 59% is the average of turnover in the retail in the last year, 2021. Okay, if we have put these challenges in our mind, and if we understand the critical path for retail, which is customer, employee, and process within the control, how the RPA or how the automation will drive the value within these changes. How we can improve the customer experience, how we can improve the employee engagement and employee experience, how we can mature the compliance and the regulations and controls, how we can accelerate the benefits from digital transformation in order to have a healthy business. I highlight a couple of values for the customers who start use RPA. So this is not a statement, this is a feedback. We get it from retailer used RPA in the last 6 to 9 months and link it with these challenges. For example, the improved operation efficiency. After using RPA, the end-to-end business process became more and more aligned, zero error, no delays, and no rework, which is audits and follow-up. This is big improvement in the operation. Second, the RPA projects, within days, you can develop the robot. Within weeks, you can apply the project. So no IT projects for 6 months or 9 months. No need to go to the CFO and ask for millions for this project. It's a matter of thousands of dollars. Now, if we go to the benefits from digital transformation, how we can accelerate the benefits. More resources involved with the customer. No need to hire big staff to deal with system, big staff to deal with application, big staff to do reporting, order to cash, invoicing. No, you need this staff to have customer facing. So once you have those resources, those employees dealing with customers, you increase the benefits from digital transformation. Less dealing with application system, more dealing with customers, which is mean customer experiences, which mean increase revenue, increase money, increase cash and dollars in hand. Improve customer experience within the digital transformation. Customer experience totally moved to deal with mobile apps, website, easy to use, easy to adopt, how the payment method, and all those improve the customer experience, increase the sales. One of the reports I read it just a couple of days before about the change of the payment methods, how impact the digital transformation through the e-commerce. The most important industry within 3-4 industries benefits from this is the retailer. The people who invest a lot in the platforms and the payment methods increase the customer experiences, increase their sales. They can cover the investment, which is the ROI. Improve compliance, 0 error, 0 mistakes, follow the process, 100% the audit, no mistakes, no branches, no delays, and something like that. Improve employee experiences. You will have, let's say, higher level of loyalty of your employees, less return and turnover from your employees. I don't want to spend more time. If there's any question, I need to jump to a very two subjects, important subjects. First one, our experience in retail, and the second one, how we see the RBA in the retail, either from the shop floor, from the back office, from supply chain. I don't want to spend that much time, but just I want to tell you something. In the core value, in the retail industry, the customer experience is our driven, and the ROI, which is related to the cost, is that factor. We need to link whatever application, system, platform, in order to have this kind of connections between employee and the customer. Customer experiences is our KPI. So within this ecosystem, you can start build up your loyalty, manage your competition, capture the customer experience and response, change the workforce behavior in order to first deal with application systems that can save a lot of time, a lot of cost. Second, enhance the customer experiences through chatbot, through SMS. Thank you for visiting our store. Thank you for visiting our website. Through survey after closing certain selling cycle, and better employee experiences. We cannot ignore the employee. We cannot focus on the customer and ignore the employee. And finally, business outcome. We need to make sure we generate the revenue, big revenue, in order to sustain the continuity. RBA in the retail industry. We captured 3 areas that can be automated. A lot of use cases in the shop floor, a lot of use cases in the back office, a lot of use case supply chain. Once I mention use case, that means business process. That's mean either task or full business process. If we talk about the supply chain, we have the demand and supply planning. Whatever use cases, whatever business process related to the demand generation, demand planning, supply planning, we can automate it. Logistics, supply chain and inventory management, logistics, dealing with registers, logistic tracking, reporting, supply chain, stores, inventory management, all those use cases can be automated within the supply chain. Quotation, invoices, proposal, contract, and managing all those documentations and contracts, 100% you can automate it. Now, if we jump to the back office, within the back office, we can talk about the customer support management. There's a big area of automation, the customer support management. Returns processing. I have 3-4 use cases in Saudi Arabia about the retail processing, 100% automated and managed by robots. No need for a human. And the customer experience really amazing because this is a behavior, especially with the woman. Accounting and finance, 100%. There's a lot of use cases, procure to pay, order to cash, reporting, consolidations, you can automate it in the back office. Marketing, consumer behavior, analysis, as I mentioned to you, a lot of analysis. The smart retailer invest a lot of time to deal with data, invest a lot of time and effort to deal with analysis, to capture the market behavior, consumer behavior. And also in the back office, we can manage anything related to the HR, through the payroll management, employee onboarding, and finally, the call center and the contact center and whatever communication. And within this, I can put the social media. We have a lot of use cases to integrate the UiPath RBA robot with the chatbot, with the Twitter, with the LinkedIn, with the Facebook, with the call center, with the SMS, WhatsApp. And now this is a trending. And finally, for the shop floor, you can manage all the workforce, activity, task, reporting, trade promotions. We have last week of April, we have 50% discount. We need to apply this discount in this certain product, in this certain store. All those activities and promotion can be automated by the UiPath RPA platform. Midnight, 31st of March, every stores must change their price list, the promotion. Amazing work was done by the people. Now you can assign it to the robot. Store specific planning. I need to do certain planning for this stores, different planning for another stores, different strategy for another region. All this can be done by the UiPath RPA robot. I'm done from my side before using to my last session, which is some use cases. If there's any question, I am open and ready.
Thank you so much, Honey. Do we have any more questions from the audience?
Yes, Mr. Hani, this is Amin here. We are really privileged that you are here, and I know you are the very busiest person, and so thank you very much for giving us an insight of UiPath or RPA tools and how it helps the retail industry. Just wanted to understand that how we can enable the partnership with UiPath, which can help to bring more related to RPA on the table, and what are the options or the strategic partnership things that we have with UiPath.
Thank you for this question, Mr. Naeem. McKinsey is one of our partners, trusted partners, and soon there will be a UiPath network partner. We invest a lot as a UiPath with our customers, and also we invest a lot with our partners to enable our partners. We give the 360-degree support to our partners. First, through assign the sales and pre-sales, working with your sales and pre-sales with any opportunity to validate the opportunity, to take it further to second step, to do demos and POC. Second, we have instructor-led training for our partners in order to enable our partners and make those partners ready, Mr. Amin, and any other partners to take the lead and help the customer in their digital transformation journey, starting from business analysts, those people who can meet with the SMEs, subject matter expert, SMBs, the functional and end user to identify the right use cases, then take these use cases to start with the analytics and create the ROI. If we automate these use cases, we can give him the calculators, we can give him the platform, the tools. Then we can help the partners to identify the mechanism for the subscription. For this use cases, for example, we need 3-4 robots. We need 3-4 weeks, and this is the cost. And finally, we can help the partners to make sure the development is done in the proper way, so the customer will be happy, the partner will be happy, and the outcome will be as they expected. Then we can help the partners to manage the robots after go live through managed services options. So the enablement is the key factor. So there's one guy asked me the first question, which is academy, which is training, which is the main factor. Second, enablement. Then third, the center of excellence. If we have 3 aspects, I am sure the customer will be happy. Thank you, Amin, for this question, and I hope I address your question.
Yep, thank you very much, Mr. Inaya.
Thank you. I have to admit that it was incredibly very well educational. And let us now proceed to the next step. Finally, we have Mr. Amin Basha, Senior Business Analyst for Intelligent Automation Tools with 14 years of expertise in the IT industry, in the BFS and insurance sectors. As an expert in managed discovery, opportunity assessments, and process mapping, he is well-versed in identifying and prioritizing business operations that can be automated using RPA. Please welcome Amin Basha. Amin, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry. Just noticed that. Thank you, Charu, for that, and thanks for introducing. And hope you're all able to view my screen.
Yes, I mean it's visible.
Okay, so yep. So McKinsey is one of those companies that I believe that they have taken this RPA as one of the serious things. Okay. Why? Because most of the companies that I have noticed, they are talking the RPA most from the just the things on the paper. Okay, it's like theoretical. But McKinsey is the one of those companies that who have come with good partnership with UiPath, and also made some boards which we can call them as an accelerators or the pre-built boards. And that is possible only with years of experience and expertise with the industry. Okay, especially with the retail industry, right, where you can see that McKinsey have traveled around 14 years in the industry of retail with more expertise in the customers and all those things. So that is what that made them to come up with these ideas, and as well as with the some boards which can help customers just ready to the market. Like you don't just need, you need some customization on that. So today we are going to talk about those bots, and we are just going to see how these bots can help customers to quickly start their RPA journey, and also some of the capabilities that we have. So starting with the introduction to McKinsey started their career, the journey in 2008, and as a SAP retail consulting company. And you should have noticed in this slide that every year there was a progressive step happen. Okay, from 2008 until 2022, in which you can see in 2018, and that is when McKinsey have made us UiPath partnership, and taking considering the automation as one of those serious items, serious things from the business perspective, as well as from the customer supports perspective. So soon after that, in 2020, McKinsey have also made some partnership with other testing tools like Tricentis, Worksoft, and also started investing on the products, we can call them independent products like IMDS and ISPX, which can help customer, okay, straightforward, and in those processes where they have the pain. Okay, so one good thing that I have noticed that McKinsey have always had an eye on the issues, on the pain areas of the customers. So that is how they are coming up with this the products and the automation ideas here. So in 2022, you can notice that we have gone well above and beyond, and making partnership with some of the OCR providers as well, like HyperScience, and we also working on some other OCR providers as well, which can go with the UiPath tool. And like we have Abby, and we have UiPath, their own AI/ML solution, which is called document understanding and all those things. So this is all about the high level McKinsey journey. And we'll move on to the next slide, where we are going to talk about the COE, the Center of Excellence, or we can call it a delivery center for RPA. So when Mr. Anaya was talking, he clearly mentioned that one first thing that we can consider as a priority for RPA is the education, then enablement through the partnership, and the third one, the COE. So McKinsey have set up a very strong COE that was comprised of organization, governance, technology, process, and people culture. So these are all the essential flavors of a COE that you can call. And when it comes to organization, it's very important that you have a structure and you have the roles and responsibilities defined. So with McKinsey's RPA COE that you can find out that we have the clear roles and responsibilities are defined. Me as a business analyst, and we have a strong development team with the roles and responsibilities, and we have an infrastructure team. We have a managed team who can monitor and control the activities being done through this COE. So there comes the governance. So when we have a organization, it's very important that we have a governance to make sure things are done in the right way. So it's not important that you do more things. It's very important that you do things in the right way. So that is what the governance team does, that they make sure that the policies and the standards are being followed when we create a bot or any development that we do, or any process that is involved in the development of a bot. And we also have the internal and external audits that been considered for this governance process to make sure that we are 100% compliant with the process. And there comes the third item, is the technology. Technology is one of the key areas where you should have your team enabled with technical aspects and understanding on how these bots work. Okay, so for this we have a strong development team with the infrastructure team aligned with them. And also McKinsey in alignment with UiPath, we have created an initiative that's called Citizens Developer. So which is nothing but enabling your employers, even the functional employer in your team, to think automation, to enable them with the automation to create bots, and think how to create bots and what all the automation candidates that we need to consider. So all these things comes under this. In couple of months, I would say in another 1 or 2 months, you can find all our McKinsey employees will be automation enabled. So that is the ultimate goal that we are working on that. Along with that, we also are considering the other trainings and other things that we can enable our employees. And the fourth one that we have is the process. It's very important, as you say, that organization, governance, and process, all these things goes well when you are integrating them. So we have integrated organization, governance, and process in one thing, and which keeps things moving with the right speed and also in the right way. So with execution and monitoring the entire RPA lifecycle business, right, and from the evaluation of automation opportunities to boss, it's also making the deploying in the production area. So all these consider under the process. And the last one that we have is OCM, like organizational change management. So anytime you do automation, you are actually doing a tweaking on the process, which has been conventional for years. So people who are used to this conventional process, any changes that are done through automation or any reprocess happening to enable automation. So there comes the employers to understand the new process. So here we make sure not just to create the bot and tweaking the process or doing the re-engineering on the process. We also make sure that our end users are understanding what changes has been done and how the new process has been triggered and how the news process has been changed. So this comes with us organizational change management team, and come up with understanding of creating user manuals and support questions and frequently asked question and all those things. So that part is being taken care by the people and the culture team within our COE. So that's all about our COE. And then comes the RPA offerings that we have in the McKinsey. So McKinsey, as any other company, have their own views. Okay, McKinsey have categorized their customers in the three categories, which is called first one we can call them as thinking about it. Any customer who is thinking to do automation and they don't know how to start, where to start, which automation tool that they need to consider for their budget, and which automation tool or the process that need to be automated. and how this discovery assessment and estimation benefits, estimating our benefits, and all these things need to be considered. We are here to help them. So we make sure that we have a due diligence in their environment, and we identify the process and the tools, and we can help them to identifying the benefits of those automations that we can do, that we have been doing already. And the second thing is the decision taken. So there are some customers who have already got the budget allocated for the automation, but they don't know what to automate. So we have helped those customers in such a way, like, come up with a strategic development process, and also know how to help them on step-to-step digitalization. And the very important thing is that not just identifying the automation candidates, it's very important that you also prioritize which automation candidate should go first for a maximum ROI. And we also help customers with a strategic implementation. And the third category comes where the customer is already doing it. So the customer who already identified a tool, and they have identified the process and priorities already been done. But customers are struggling in some places where they don't know like how they can accelerate for more benefits or more ROI. So we have a team which can help them to identify the bottlenecks of the current RPA process or the bots that have been developed, and we can see how we can increase the ROI and also the accelerate the increased benefits on that, and also how we can see that the establishing the effective and collaborative way of outsourcing that. So these are the things that currently McKinsey is offering on this. And we also, on top of that, right, to enable ourselves, that we have created partnership. We have already established partnership with UiPath and also the other OCR tools like Hyperscience, and we have created the pre-bid boards that we are going to talk about. We have accelerators, and the more importantly, we have expertise in the retail and fashion industry. And not just the automation, we have also some products which are available, especially we can call them independent products or IP products like IMDX and ISPX. And we are going to see how IMDX bot has been created. We recently created the IMDX bot, and we have global presence, and the workforce is one of the key of McKinsey, where people have experience around this retail and fashion industry for years. So with that, we'll quickly go to the pre-built bots, or the accelerators, we can call them, that we have created in McKinsey for the retail and fashion industry. Like if you see, these are really very commonly used processes, especially this invoice generating and sales order processing. But the other bots that process that we have, the core and site creation, the IMDX and vendor master validation, these are all the process or bots that we have created to identify how these things can help customer when they have the real pain. So with the expert knowledge and expertise through the years of around 14 years of experience in the retail industry, McKinsey have clear idea on what all the processes which are most bothering to the customer, which are being painful, which are being their thing that it should have been a better way. So one of those processes, the CAR process, is nothing but a sales audit process, and which is really painful when your material is gone out, but the price, the cost of the price, or the value of the price of that item is not reached to you. So there comes the problem. So here, this CAR bot will help you with the sales auditing. It will automatically go and it check what's the problem with that sale that happened in that store. Then it clears out automatically, and the data has been sent to SAP. So that process has been automated, and we have created a bot for that. So that can be used to any customer who are facing issues with the sales auditing. And the other products like site creation, where you create the profit centers and the stores, and we have the commonly used invoice processing and sales order processing, and vendor master validation, where comes the document verification. You get the details from the vendor, and you have a legacy system, and you check whether things are correct. And IMDX is one of those processes where we have a tool called a product called IMDX, which actually create the master data, and it's digitally, or we can call them electronically, sends the data from web application to the SAP. Okay, and that process, that exchange happen after a validation. So it's a big process. Okay, and IMDX is already having an intelligence. On top of that, as an added intelligence, we have created a bot. So that bot can help IMDX in a more better way without manual intervention. It can do the end-to-end from data creation to the data validation, and the entire process, including the approval process, where we have included the AI ML artificial intelligence as well, without any, to make sure that 100% automation, no manual intervention. So these are all the bots that we have. So the ultimate aim of creating these bots, or we can call them a pre-built bots, to make sure the customer get them and start immediately with some customization. So it's like the basement is already created. We have the base for the construction. All we need to do is just a customization, where customer says, hey, I want this way, or this is the tool that I'm using, or this is the product I'm using, that configuration that needs to be done on top of that. So this will enable speed to the market. So that is the one thing where because automation, when it comes to automation, it's a matter of investment. So we make sure that you get speedy ROI on your investment that you are getting, that you are involving, and make sure that you are getting 100% benefit of it. So with that, I will just quickly go through one or two bots, especially this car bot, run a video, and if you have any questions, that you can let us know. And these are all pre-built or accelerator bots that we have created in McKinsey. And all you're seeing here, the data has been entered through automation. So there is no manual intervention here, apart from just triggering the bot. And the data has been entered and in the SAP system through automation. And it monitors the sales movement and identifying wherever we have the problems, and is trying to fix it. And this is keep repeating for all the data. So I'm just keeping it moving. And it keeps checking the lines where we have issues and fixing one by one. In the interest of time, so we have to move this. So this bot is saving around 96% of your time when you compare with the manual execution on this. And at the end of this, it also prepares a report what has been done and how many records has been processed and whether they were successful or not successful, and what is the exception that we have when it's failed, and all these things are being captured here. And we also have one bot where we have, as Mr. Hani Inaya mentioned, we have our bots that is capable of reading your emails and opening the content from the email and reading the content and processing using those content as input data. This is one of those bots that we have that is for sales order processing, where this data has been taken from an email, opened from an email, and your bot is understanding and reading from this data to get the input from this. The interest of time, I'm just moving it to show that what has been done is completed at the end of this bot. So all the SOs are created in SAP. That is the ultimate goal for us. So with that, we have a few more videos of bot that we have created on demand basis. We can share those with you, but with the interest of time, I would like to just go with only these two, and remaining, if you want, we can share and you can have a look, and you can reach out to us anytime you want, any need, any help on RPA, please reach out to us, McKinsey. We should be able to help you. Thank you. On top of that, any questions? We are open for questions.
Thank you so much, Amin. I'd like to express my appreciation for such a great experience. And I would now like to ask our virtual audience if they have any follow-up questions for our speakers or panelists about the topics they have discussed. You can drop in your questions in the inbox and we will ask those questions on behalf of you. Any questions from the audience for our speakers or panelists?
Okay, thank you very much. If you have any questions that you find later, please drop an email to me, ebasha@mckinsey.com. We should be able to help and answer those questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amin.
And over to you, Charu.
Thank you, everyone. Now that the evening has come to a close, I would like to thank every one of you for being such an amazing audience and for joining us today. I had a great time hosting you all, and with that, I would like to wish you and your loved ones a very happy and colorful Holi. And I look forward to hosting you all again at future events, and have a wonderful rest of the evening. But now, Pragya will be taking the session by saying a few words, and let me quickly introduce her to all of you. She's an ambassador for the meet and comes with over 20 years of industry experience and is currently working as an executive assistant in McKinsey Consulting. Pragya, over to you now.
Thank you, Charu, for this introduction. Thank you, everyone, in behalf of McKinsey Consulting for participating in EFIA chapter Retail Fashion and CPG Connect and making this event successful. And big round of applause for the Meet event team, who really dedicatedly work hard for this event. And we are very grateful to have the Meet EFIA platform, which helps industry experts to share the experience, achievements, innovation, and help grow the foundation for the better future and shared faith. With that said, thank you once again. Have a great day. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you everyone once again for being an incredible audience, and hope to see you all in the future events of the meet. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.